New mini box. Let's review it. Let's go over it. Let's see the new cards in the box. If you're new to the game, a mini box consists of 100 packs, generally cheaper than a main, which has 180. Anyway, but has less support. Anyway, let's get into the box review. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure you like this video. Turn on that notification bell. Also, follow me on Twitch. I will have the link below. I do cog climbs, tournaments, and we also do chances where you are able to duel mate yourself. So let's get into it. First card is Stardust Chronicles Spark Dragon, and it requires a tuner synchro monster plus one or more non-tuner synchro monsters. So, yes, there are synchros that do have a tuner. Alright, we'll get into them soon. Must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish one synchro monster from your graveyard. This card is unaffected by other card effects for the rest of the turn. So this is a quick effect. If this card in the owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card by battle or card effect, you can target one of your banished synchro monsters, special summon it. So this card's a little bit difficult to get on the field, I think, because it's hard. It's probably the hardest synchro monster to summon. That title kind of, I guess, went to Quarion, but Quarion's really not that hard to summon. But this is much more difficult, as you need a tuner synchro and a non-tuner synchro. We'll have to develop combos to go into it. But anyway, it is level 10. What's really good about it, though, is if you banish a synchro monster, it doesn't matter what synchro it is. It's unaffected by all card effects. So that means that your opponent cannot drowning it, cannot stretch it, cannot floodgate it, cannot use a Brio on it or Quarion on it. Excuse me. But overall, this card is really, really good. And also, it floats. So when it's destroyed by your opponent's card, whether by battle or card effect, you can special summon any dragon type synchro monster, any of your banished dragon synchro monsters. So generally the ones you banish for this, which can be really good once we get into the next card, which we are going to talk about. We'll just scroll down here, so that way we have a card list. The next card is Coral Dragon. One tuner plus one or more non-tuners. It is a dragon synchro tuner. So this can be used as a tuner monster and a synchro monster to summon another synchro monster. This card I played back at the TCG. Very resourceful, very good. Once per turn, you can discard one card. Then target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. If the synchro summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can draw one card. You can only use the effect of Coral Dragon once per turn. So this can pop a back row. Also, if it was synchro summoned and destroyed and sent from the field to the grave, you draw another card. That includes if you synchro summon with it. So, for instance, if I played this, one of the decks that I think this could be really good in is Crystron. Now, I could tell you this from a Crystron player's perspective. Can't get that word out. That if you synchro summon this, let's say, let me put it to you this way. Well, let me put it to you this way, where this card could be good. Alright, let's say I have a Rion and any level 3 at this turn, right? With a Rosenex in the grave. I synchro summon it to Coral, activate Coral Dragon, discard a card, pop it back, right? You can force a Fiendish Chain. After that, I banish the Rosenex token, because this is the banish effect from the grave. You're not popping on the field, so you can still go into your machines. You special summon a Rosenex token, then you can use this and the Rosenex token, make a Black Rose Dragon, wipe the field, and then play around whatever Fiendish Chain there is, if you hit the right back row. Okay, so that could be a good situation if you feel that your opponent is going to try and stop you, or you can use this to bait out what other back row your opponent has. Also, after you make that Black Rose Dragon, you can draw a card. Now, another way you can use this card is you can use this card to make Quarion Gandrax. If you have this, a Citry, and a Rosenex token, that is a Quarion Gandrax 623 set up because this is a tuner. So these are things you want to keep in mind. It might just be better to play Brionic overall, but this is a nice card. It's definitely a nice card. But we'll see definitely how good or how not good it ends up being in duelings. But definitely could be good in Crystron, so we'll have to watch and see. And it could also be good to get your Stardust Chronicles Spark Dragon on the field too. And remember, this being a dragon, if it's banished, you can bring it back with your Chronicle Spark Dragon. Alright, now next is an archetype that really, really intrigues me in this game, and I think could be very good, is Megalith. And I'm going to explain why. Alright, so this card is called Megalith Basar. You can ritual summon this card with the Megalith card. Now, what's very important with this archetype is you don't ritual summon ritual spells. You're going to actually use the monsters to ritual summon. So the great thing is you don't need to run Sonic Bird in this deck. You could just run a combination of like Senju. Or if you're on a budget and you don't have Senjus, run Gishki Chain. Gishki Chain is another way. If you don't have multiple Senjus, that could definitely help you make this deck very consistent as well. Alright? So you can ritual summon this card with a Megalith card. You can discard this card, ritual summon one Megalith ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. If this card is ritual summoned, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of ritual monsters with different names in your graveyard and destroy them. You can only use each effect of Megalith Basar once per turn. So this card is fantastic. And I'm going to tell you why with the support that we have below. You're going to easily be able to stockpile the amount of ritual card monsters you have in your graveyard. Now the only thing that is kind of bad with this card is that it only has 1500 attack, but 2600 defense. But we'll get into more of that later. Well, that's not going to be that big of a deal, it having 1500 attack. But the nice thing is, there is a ritual monster in this box that will allow you to summon this on your opponent's turn, which is fantastic. Also, what's really good about this card is, like I said, being able to just pop your opponent's field, especially on your opponent's turn. This card's going to be fantastic. This card's going to make the deck pop off. I think this card's really good. Like I said, the only really bad matchup that I see right off the bat is going to be Witchcrafter. But other than that, I think this deck has the chance to be really good. Alright, so we'll get into some of the support cards, but this card's really good. You're also going to ritual summon your small ones, which we'll get into with Basar, because the way you're going to ritual summon is you're going to discard this card specifically, or the other level 8, to ritual summon your small ones. You could also ritual summon your bigger ones, but generally getting ritual summon your smaller ones with these. But this is overall really good. Okay? So, we'll get into how you're going to summon your small ones right now. Alright? So, first things first, we're going to go over the smaller ritual monsters first. We'll go over the whole Megalith. Then we'll come back to everything else. You know what? We'll go over everything else first. Never mind. Alright, so the next card is Dragonity Night Loon. Alright, so this is a Dragon Synchro Tuner effect. One Dragonity Tuner plus one or more non-tuners. If this card is special summon, you can target one Dragonity monster in your graveyard, equip it to this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Dragonity monster, equip it to this card. Gains attack and defense. You can only use the effect of Dragonity Night Loon once per turn. Personally, I don't think this card's that great because it's a tuner. That's particularly why. If this wasn't a tuner, I would say you can use this to climb into Ascalon. But because this is a tuner, you really can't. And that is really a deterrent with this card. So I think Vardriana and Gay Bolg are just better overall with this deck than this card is. It's not bad if you... I mean, the thing is, this card could come into play if you wanted to normal summon... Well, it just doesn't seem that useful to me, but you would have to normal summon a level 2 Dragonity non-tuner or a level 4. So if you summon this and then normal the ducks afterwards, you could use that for Ascalon. But overall, I just don't think this card's that great. Mathematic Geomathematic Magma. This is a level 8 synchro. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. When this card destroys an opponent's monster, when this card destroys a monster by battle, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls to destroy them. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in the owner's possession is destroyed by card effect, opponent's card effect, you can add 1 mathematic spell or trap for your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Geomathematic Magma once per turn. Overall, this is a solid card. If you destroy your opponent's monster by battle, you can pop 2 cards on the field. I don't think this is that good because this is kind of slow. Also, it's perk fodder for your opponent, so you gotta be careful with that. The destruction effect is nice, but again, I think there are cards in the game that just do it better than this card. You think about Sun Saga, you just pop instantly, right? So you could pop right on summon rather than have to wait to destroy your opponent's monster by battle. The nice thing is, if this thing dies, you get to add a mathematic spell trap for your deck to your hand. So you get some floater protection, essentially. Other than that, well, not floater protection, more like floater advantage. Other than that, it's kind of slow. But it's not a bad card. I could definitely see why it'd be an SR. It's got 0 defense, but a 2,500 attack. So, take those stats with that. 25 could still run over some decent things. Next card is Megalith Ophel. It's a level 4. Now this, again, getting into the smaller ones. You can ritual summon this card with a Megalith card. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Megalith monster for your deck to your hand, except Megalith Ophel. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field, including this card, on your field, whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this card is fantastic. If you ritual summon this out of the hand, right, using your big guys, you summon this, and then you can summon another big guy after this card searches. So, right, the skill you're going to want to use with this deck, in my opinion, is level duplication. Because you're going to be able to, here's your standard play. Let's say we open up Bethor, right? You're going to discard Bethor and another Megalith, right, to summon Ophel. Ophel's going to go ahead and search. Maybe you want to go into your Flag, right? And then you're going to activate Ophel's effect. And then Ophel is going to allow you to tribute itself after you, you duplication first. You don't use Ophel first. Use duplication. You duplicate this, and your level 8 that you just searched, make Ophel an 8. Tribute Ophel, you can go to Flag. So now you have a big beat stick on the field. So that could be a way you may want to combo. We'll get into Flag's effect a little bit later, but you can also do the same with Bethor as well. So definitely some ways you can combo off with this deck. Alright. So the next card I want to go over is Megalith Haggith. Alright. So this is a level 4 rock ritual. You can ritual summon this card with a Megalith card. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Megalith spell trap from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Same as the level 4. You can ritual summon by tributing monsters from your hand and field, including this card, which total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. You can only use this effect of Haggith once per turn. So, the main thing with this card is you want to, again, this one searches the spell and traps. This searches the monster. We'll get into spell and traps soon. But the main thing is, again, if you have another ritual monster in hand, you can also duplicate this, make it an 8, and then special summon instantly. Alright, so Haggith is very, very good. Now, the next card we're going over is Mathematic Addition. You can target 1 face-up monster in the field. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except Cyberse type monsters. Also, special summon this card from your hand, but it cannot attack this turn. And if you do, the targeted monster gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. You can only use the effect of Mathematic Addition once per turn. So this card, I can't understand why it's an SR. The problem I have with Mathematics in this set, I'm going to tell you straight up, is there's no tuners in this set for Mathematics. So, They're giving us another incomplete archetype. It's kind of unplayable, which is kind of sucks. You know, but maybe this could be a way that you would just special summon a monster on the field if you wanted to, like Dinotherium. But we already have Dinotherium, which I think does a better job at doing that than this card. Unless you're trying to boost up a monster of your own, I don't think this card is that good, especially with the restrictions that it puts on it. Putting these restrictions on it, I just don't get why this card's an SR. I don't think it's that good. Naglifar, Generator, Boss of Fire. It's a level 8, I think. Or is it a level 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's a level 9. You can only control one Naglifar, Generator, Boss of Fire. If its cards you control will be destroyed by battle, you can destroy one Beast Warrior or Generator monster. So you can use this, destroy, pop your own cards. That's very good. Prevent them from popping your own cards. So that could be good. Beast Warrior, the whole Beast Warrior application sounds a bit awkward. Unless you're talking about using a deck like Fire Fist or something like that. You can only use this effect of Generator Boss of Fire once per turn, 3100, defense 200. Now, if we had a card in the TCG that was called Rekindling, which Rekindling does is special summon as many monsters from your graveyard with 200 defense as possible. We don't have it. This would make this card a lot better, I think. But right now, I just don't see it as being that good. Flamvel Fire Dog. Okay, this card was in the TCG. Mainly used in Stardust Assault Mode OTK decks. Or, again, Flamvel decks with Rekindling. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, special summon one fire monster from your deck with 200 defense or less, except for Fire Dog. So you're going to use, they want you to use this to go into this. Again, the problem is this card really doesn't even synergize other than the special summon effect. Because you need to destroy a Beast Warrior, not a Beast. And he's a Beast. So that kind of doesn't even synergize with its effect. But being able to summon 3100 beaters is kind of what they want you to do here. Still feels a bit slow to me. Next card is Megalith Portal. Now this is a field spell. And this is one of the cards that you can search with Haggith. Which is the other one, the dark one. It's not the attribute's dark, but never mind. Haggith. Just go with Havoc. Haggith. Megalith Portal. The first time each ritual monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not. If a Megalith monster is special summoned except during the damage step, you can target one ritual monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This second effect is really good because comboing off with these things, especially because you contribute the level 4s to go into another level 4 without even having duplication. You can keep adding these things back, and know it's once per turn, but getting these things back to your hand to help extend your combos is really good. And the protection from battle once per turn is also pretty good because they have 2600 defense. A lot of these things are 2700. Ophel has 25. Haggith has 26. And Bethor has 26. So a lot of these are going to be difficult to run over. So having the ability to search this card can be really, really good. Next card is Battle Waltz. Target one synchro monster you control. So special summon one Waltz token with the current type, attribute level, attack, and defense of that monster. Neither player takes damage from attacks involving that token. Not good. It's more of a meme card than anything else. This card could easily drop in an event, and I don't think anyone would know the difference. That's how bad I think it is. Mathematic Induction. All Cyberse type monsters you control gain 500 attack. If you control a Mathematic monster, you can send this card face-up card from your field to the grave. Then target one card your opponent controls to destroy it. You can only use this effect of Mathematic Induction once per turn. So this card is pretty good. This card, if Mathematics ever become a thing in the future, you send this to the grave, pop a card in the field. Nice card for the deck, but the deck needs a lot more. But this is a nice card for the deck. Now we're going to get into the rares. Paralysis, the purple Pyro tile. When this level 2 Synchro Tuner, one tuner plus or one or more non-tuners. When this is sent to the graveyard, field to the grave. All opponent's monsters your opponent controls currently lose 500 attack. So, a little nice effect can help you climb into your Chronicle Spark, maybe with some combos, we'll see. Next is Phonon Pulse Dragon. Now, this card did get some use in the TCG with some Excel Synchro combos. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners, it's Dragon Synchro Tuner. When this card is Synchro Summoned, you can declare a level from 1 to 3. This card becomes that level. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Synchro monsters. So make sure you already have another tuner on the field. You can only use this effect of, you can only special summon Phonon Pulse Dragon once per turn. Okay, and you have to use this card as a synchro material. So it's highly restrictive, but can help you get into different synchros if you want. So, decent card at that. Megalith Ophel. You can ritual summon this card using a Megalith card. If this card is ritual summoned, you can draw 1 card, discard 1. So this has a Dark World dealing Squire type effect. During the main phase, quick effect. Now, where this card separates itself from the other two, is that this is a quick effect. Meaning, this is where the whole deck comes together. You can summon this Bethor, on your opponent's turn, which is insane. Because that means if you go first against Dark Magician, and you bring this thing out, right, the Ock, right, so you summon the Ock, on your opponent's turn, they activate Circle, they set Nav, they set double Nav, boom! You have 3 rituals in the grave, wipe the field. Really, really good. They go first with Cyber Dragon, they activate Core, set Overflow, blah, 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 blah. Bethor, wipe the field. Really, really, really good. Alright, so definitely a lot of implication there. Same with Shiranui. They want to threaten the Sun Saga plus back row, right? Well, the back row would be a little bit hard because they could just level augment first. But if they threaten the Sun Saga, they summon Squire, Tuner, boom, wipe the field. Really, really good. Alright, Crystron, again, they don't have as much access to impact anymore. So Bethor, wipe the field. Right, they threaten Aquarium, wipe the field with an Ock play. Very, very good. And you're going to see how this deck really comes together soon. The next card we're going to talk about is Megalith Flag. Alright, so Phaleg, you can ritual summon this with a Megalith card. You can discard this card, ritual summon one Megalith ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels are equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. Alright, so again, Phaleg, like Bethor, used to get at your small ones mainly. You can only use this effect of Phaleg once per turn. When this card is summoned, right, while this card's on the field, monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense for each ritual monster in your graveyard. So a really good effect because Cositis would be a problem normally for this deck. But Phaleg with 3 ritual monsters is at 3,400 attack. So you can easily get over a Cositis. With 3 ritual monsters in your graveyard, this comes up to 24. And this will allow Ophel to go up to 25. So you can get these things up to pretty decent attack. And it also gains defense. Keep that in mind. Think about this. With 3 ritual monsters in your graveyard, your Bethor becomes 3,500 defense. So there's not too many things that get over that. So keep that in mind. Especially if you have your field spell out. Because if you have your field spell out, your monsters can't be destroyed in battle once per turn. So keep that in mind. So Phaleg, really good. Next, Mathematic Subtraction. You can target one face-up monster in the field. You cannot special summon except turn except Cyber's type monsters. Also special summon this card from your hand, but it cannot attack this turn. And if you do, the targeted monster loses 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect of subtraction once per turn. This one's a little bit better. Honestly, I think they should reverse the roles between this and Addition. And the reason I say this is a bit better is because if your opponent has a monster on the field, you can reduce their monster's attack and defense rather than having to boost them. You know, this becomes a little bit more practical, I think, than the Addition. So, Again, I think this card's actually better than the SR, which is very rare to say that. Dragoonity Brandy Stock. While this card's equipped to a monster, this can attack twice during the battle phase. So that monster can attack twice. So the only real use I see out of this is maybe you summon an Ascalon, you activate Divine Lance and equip this onto it, and then your Ascalon can attack twice. So maybe Dragoonity's tech one of this, I don't know, because it could be a brick. But it might cuck you, so be very careful. Alright? Be very careful of that. This could be a cuck. Alright, if your opponent, if they want to attack twice, and there's something they just can't get rid of. Invitation to a Dark Sleep. When a monster is summoned, excluding special summon, select one of your opponent's monsters as long as this card remains visible in the field. Cannot attack the selected monster. Alright, this can be used in Mathematician because it is a dark spellcaster. You can be a cuck and then special summon this, make your opponent's monster not be able to attack. So I could see Dark Magician trying to tech this in. Be a cuck. It could be a brick, so I don't know if they will, but it could be a cuck and run this. UFO Turtle, very simple. TCG card when it's destroyed by battle. Special summon one fire monster with 1500 or less attack or defense from the deck. Kind of slow, not really that great. Mitasa the Zapper. Now this card could be a cuck. And the reason I say this is because with United We Stand in the game, some people may try to develop chinky OTKs with this card. So what this card says to do is this card can make it a second attack during each battle phase. Control this card cannot switch. So they cannot econ this. They can also equip this with United We Stand and try to get this thing up to a huge amount of attack and just double attack for game. So it could be a little bit of a cuck. As one apparition, if this card inflicts battle damage, you can return one trap card from your graveyard to the top of the deck. Not good. Foxfire, during the end phase, if this card was destroyed by battle and sits to grave, and was face up at the start of the damage step, special summon this card from the grave. This card cannot be tributed except for a tribute. Cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. Not good. You know, this is like a bad Treeborn Frog, essentially. Duel Worm. Okay. Cyberse effect. If this card's in your hand or grave, you can banish 2 Cyberse monsters from your hand or grave. Special summon this card, but its attack becomes halved. You can only use this effect of Duel Worm once per turn. Once per turn, you can banish 1 card from your hand, banish 1 monster in the field equal less than its attacks. Now, the thing with this card, okay, is if you can boost up this card's attack, this thing does not target. So what does that mean? If your opponent does not chain their monster effect, like let's say they have their Rion and they don't chain and they don't know, you just banish it without targeting. If they have a Spectral Sword on the field, just banish it. If you could somehow boost this thing's attack, you can get rid of bigger monsters. So maybe this card could be attack in Cyberse decks. We'll see. Because I like that you can summon it from the graveyard as well. So if you get this card in your graveyard, it may not be terrible. Defcon Bird, another Cyberse monster. You can discard one other Cyberse type monster, special summon this from the hand. You can only use the effect of Defcon Bird once per turn. Once per turn, when your Cyberse monster is targeted for attack, you can make its attack and defense double its original attack. Then you can change it to defense. So that's an optional effect. But the thing is, they could just attack over this first. Well, no. Actually, no. They can. You can make them if they attack into this. You could switch this thing to defense, and then it becomes 34. No, only a double its original attack. Oh, this is not good. Okay. Because they'll just swing over this first. I would say that if you could attack with it, then you can have some combos, but this is not that great. Megalith Emergence. You can target 1 Megalith monster in your graveyard, special summon defense position, but... Okay. But when it leaves the field, you can... Oh, wait. Put it to the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So this card is really good, too. Maybe it's a one-of, because you could search it. you could target any Megalith in your grave. Now keep in mind, if you summon ritual monsters, they must be special summoned properly first. Ritual summon properly before you could summon them. So, this is great to recycle your whole deck, so you never run out of resources. So this is nice. It also gets you some more bodies on the field. Really nice cards around that deck. So, very good. Dragoonity Javelin. If this card is destroyed while in the monster zone, you can equip one face-up Winged Beast Dragoonity monster you control instead of sending it to the graveyard. Not good. When this is normal summon, you can special summon one Winged Beast Dragoonity monster from your hand, then equip it with this card. While it is equipped, that monster can attack directly, and the battle damage inflicted is half. It doesn't seem that useful. Seems like a weaker Atlas to me. Helios the Primordial Sun. The attack and defense are equal to the removed from play monsters times 100. Alright guys, time to get rid of those Infernity Infernos. This card was broken with Macrocosmos. Well, this card was used with Macrocosmos, but we don't have that in the game yet. Helios Duo Magistas. This card can be special summoned by tributing a Primordial Sun. The attack and defense of this card become the number of banished monsters times 200. If this card is destroyed as a result of battle and sent to the graveyard, this will be special summoned during the end phase, increasing its attack and defense by 300. Now, the thing with this card is, notice how it says remove from play. And the reason why is it was changed to banish later on. So, yeah. Okay, we're not going to go really over any of the normals. We'll just go over these. And then all these cards here were previously in the game. So we'll go over the normals here. Mathematic Equation. Target one mathematic monster in your graveyard. Special summon. If you do, it gains 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. Not bad. Can be used to bring back your Synchro after its special summon. Get it up to 35. You can only activate one equation per turn. Mathematic Billion Blade Nyuta. Equip only to a Cyberus monster. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calc, so this means after Alistair has to be used in damage step. You can send one monster from your deck to the graveyard, Mathematic monster. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the sent monster attack until the end of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. If this card is sent from the spell and trap zone in the graveyard, you can target one Mathematic monster card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Okay, not terrible. It's kind of like an Insector Sword, Excalibur for them. Not bad. Megalith Promotion. You can target one level 4 monster you control. It becomes double its original level until the end of this turn. So you can use this on any monster, and it's continuous. Not bad, but it's a bit slow. It's kind of like level dupe. It just seems better. But you might see people try and tech one. Anti-Regeki. If your opponent activates Regeki, negate it. Destroy it. I mean, no, you don't negate and destroy it. You destroy all your opponent's monsters instead. Griffin Wings, the same with Heartbeast Feather Duster. Again, if you want to counter Creator, here you go. Your opponent activates heavy Heartbeast Feather Duster to destroy all their cards. O-Token Bomb. Tribute up to 3 monsters with the same level. 2 monsters. Then target monster to graveyard with that same level. Or tribute or 2 more tokens. Then target monsters to graveyard with the same level. Up to the number of tokens. Tribute. Special summon those targets. And destroy them during the end phase, and their effects are negated. Not good. Alright, the rest of the cards we already have in the game. So, what do I think of the box? I think that Megaliths are really good. I think that really they're the only thing with any decent potential in this box. Being brutally honest. You either go into this deck with Megaliths, or you're going in for a Coral Dragon or a Chronicle. You know, again, I think Chronicle Spark Dragon's can kind of be memey, like a meme card. But again, if there are easier ways to get this thing on the field in the future, it does have potential to be really good. If there are easy ways to summon it in the future, Megalith, I think, have the potential to be really good. Top tier, maybe. So we'll have to see. But definitely I'm going to try and go in on Megalith because I want to bake that deck and stream it. If you want to see me stream the deck, you're going to want to be followed to me on Twitch because that's where I do all my live streams. We're also going to have a Witchcraft tutorial and banlist video coming out soon. Until next time, this is Tilt Matre signing out.